and government of being behind this week's cyber attacks on Bank of America and J.P. Morgan. In a new interview with C-SPAN, the senator said, quote, "I don't believe that these were just hackers. I think that this was done by Iran and their Quds Force, which is its own developing cyber attack capacity." NBC News first reported on Thursday that Iran was behind these attacks, citing national security forces. Reuters now also reporting that these attacks have been ongoing since late last year. Now, Jim Finkel has been covering this story for Reuters and joins us to talk more about this. So, Jim, explain just how damaging these attacks are and what they could do to the average banking consumer here in the States.
Sure, Thomas. But first of all, we need to say that we don't really know what kind of damage the Iranian hackers have inflicted on the banks. All we know, because it's classified and because the banks aren't talking about it, all we really know is we're starting to get a little bit of information, and we know, of course, when the websites go down, and Senator Lieberman attributes that to the Iranian hackers, we know that that's related. So, you know, the banks that were involved in this were Citi, J.P. Morgan, and Bank of America. Those are extremely well-protected banks, and probably they're going to be able to come back fairly quickly when there's an attack like this. The concern is more what might happen with smaller banks that don't have the same kind of cybersecurity protections.
Now, according to your reporting, Iran has really beefed up its cyber capabilities after its nuclear program, which was damaged in 2010 by a virus that was presumed to be inflicted by the U.S. So is this them just retaliating back to the U.S., hitting regular Americans in the pocketbooks and setting that terrorism type of fear that our banks are going to be compromised because of the types of attacks that America has presumably done to their nuclear capabilities?
Sure. It's retaliation, and it's also them realizing that they need these kind of capabilities to protect themselves. So they beefed up their cyber defenses as well as their offenses. And but it's not just about scaring people. You know, again, it's not clear. We're unable to get complete information about what sort of capabilities the Iranians have. But, you know, there's no reason to assume that they don't have capabilities that could actually inflict damage to banks and, you know, other parts of the infrastructure.
Why do you think that we're just learning about this now? I know you've been reporting about this, but we've had the ideas or the inference that this has been going on or about to come for a very long time.
Sure. So why are the leaks coming out now? I think there's a couple reasons. One is obviously, you know, what's going on in between Israel and Iran over the nuclear program. Next week is the UN General Assembly, and I think, you know, we read that Iran is claiming that the U.S. has barred 20 Iranian officials from traveling to the U.S. for that. So there's a lot of things going on, and one of the things we heard was that this most recent round of attacks was to send a message to the U.S. Related to what's happening at the General Assembly next week.
All right, so if they are doing this now, what happens if tensions escalate between Israel and Iran into some type of attack and all-out war, so to speak? Do they have the capability to really go lights out, literally?
I don't know about lights out literally. I think that might be a stretch. But again, they have, my understanding is they have more capability than slowing websites or making it difficult for people to log in. One of the fears is that they were launching these attacks as a distraction. And the way it would work is like this. They've already gotten into the banks, and they have some kind of malware there, and they're trying to move around to steal things, to change data, you know, even plant weapons that could cause damage down the road. So that's one theory. It's unclear if that's true, but that's the concern.